It's good to see you. So it's interesting. Some people are saying, hey, celebrate that Microsoft did not get involved with TikTok. Others are saying Walmart is not completely out. And the idea here is that Oracle gets some piece of TikTok. What did you think about when you first heard the developing news?
So this whole thing is odd to me. First of all, we don't know what the terms of the deal are yet, so it's difficult to see whether or not it's a good deal. One thing seems to be clear is that it is not a complete acquisition with full control for Oracle of TikTok or its asset, anything like that. It's some sort of, hybrid. And in that regard, I'm not sure if that's what the White House and the Trump administration was expecting when it wanted TikTok in order to be, available here in the United States as an app. It wanted, a 100% owner that was American, preferably a large tech company. So I'm not exactly sure I understand if we don't know what the terms of the deal are, it's hard to sort of analyze it, right, and say whether it is good. But right off the bat, the synergy, there's just no synergy between Oracle and TikTok. I don't see that at all.
So you think just why a company like Oracle would want TikTok is a question in itself, right?
Yeah.
I mean, did it make more sense for Microsoft and Walmart than it did for Oracle?
A little bit, yes. Walmart obviously is a consumer-facing company, right? Their customers are all are all consumers, right? Microsoft is kind of a hybrid. It has LinkedIn, so it has some cloud services, and it's got its toe in social networking and in the internet advertising business as a whole. Oracle does not, and Oracle's customers are not only enterprises; they're particularly the largest, most conservative enterprises that you find in the Fortune 500, especially in banking and financial services, where they're particularly strong. They're making the transition to cloud computing, but that's a transition that's probably only 1/3, I would say, estimated, through. And so they are struggling for growth. Perhaps they're doing this to try to jumpstart growth, but I just don't see any synergy between what they do and TikTok. And
right.
It's just an odd thing that I'm still trying to scratch my head over.
I think if I went to, this is really for teenagers, a lot of this TikTok, a lot, right? Not all. If you ask teenagers what's Oracle, they may not even have heard of it, right? It's just it is a little bit of a strange combination. That being said, to your point, Oracle cannot afford a big mistake. They haven't grown revenue for years. We have to wonder what's behind this partial deal. So that's part of it. But with the relationship that we're seeing between the U.S. and China and the tensions, and can you expand it out a little bit to a lot of these U.S. companies? What do we think about the U.S., our market, Oracle, China? What comes to mind when you have these discussions with your CFRA folks and you look at other companies like Apple and Tesla and whatever else, all these semiconductors and Huawei? There must be a lot that you guys talk about when it comes to U.S.-China trade tensions.
Yes, indeed. And I think that, in order for you to have innovation, right, in order for innovation to really flourish, it flourishes when the government, typically, has sets up a well-regulated infrastructure where the rules are clear and breaking the rules gets, punished. But beyond that, there's radical neutrality, right? They stay out of the way. And that's not the case with this administration. Whether you think that's a good thing or a bad thing is separate. It's a new thing, and it's a new thing for big tech. And I think that it's this degree of sort of sort of passive intrusion, I guess, by tweet and so forth. So it's odd, and I think that you can't help but think that this whole TikTok, Oracle, Microsoft deal has some sort of political overtones, and is, perhaps kabuki, in the run up to the election. And remember that it has to whatever the deal is, it also has to pass Chinese muster. It has to be approved by the Chinese government,
Yeah.
and they may very well not like what they see, and they also may nix it, right? That's a possibility, too.
Yeah, I mean, all this had to happen, too, before this weekend, or else then the U.S. was just going to shut it down. It's a very odd sort of situation, not a place we've been to before. Do you think it was a good miss for Microsoft?
Yeah. Although with Microsoft, they've got enough cash, they could spend $15 billion, buy TikTok, and then, if it runs into the ground 3 years later, okay, it's a bad mistake, but it's not really going to affect their growth trajectory that much. Oracle, on the other hand, has $28 billion in net debt. They've got enough cash, right, to buy it, to do the deal, but they've also got a lot of debt. And so their balance sheet doesn't look nearly as good. A $15 billion mistake would not be good for them. And if they were going to be on an acquisition spree, I don't understand why they wouldn't, double down on the enterprise areas that they're already in,
right,
and could really benefit from building out, right?
All right. Yeah. No, I get it. Do you have a favorite stock right now? Do you have a buy rating, a strong buy on something that we can leave with?
Sure. Microsoft, actually. I have a buy on Microsoft.
Okay.
I buy on Salesforce.com, and I'll throw in a smaller one that I have a strong buy on. That's New Relic.